things that we once upon a time thought are a burden, the household chores, perhaps those were what were keeping us relatively healthy as compared to where we are today. Dr. Sharma is back with us on the show. Dr. Sharma, I think, pointed out to some very interesting facets of oil consumption. She said, consume seed oil, don't consume processed oil. But there's a lot of misconception also because, I listen to a whole lot of people on social media and they're confused. Some tell me that I should consume olive oil, I should not consume mustard oil. My mother often says, no, you should consume mustard oil. What is the truth and what are the facts vis-a-vis what is the myth here? What should we really consume when it comes to oil?
Excellent question. I think 2 points I want to bring forth here. One is the origin of oil. The second is the processing of oil. In terms of, first I'll take the processing bit. So a lot of people have forgotten that over the last 15, 20 years, it is the processing which has taken a negative turn. The way oils are being processed and chemicals are being introduced in the processing method, that is a problem. So first thing I would say, please have natural processed oil, cold pressed oil, which is called kachi ghani, because that doesn't use chemical extraction of oil. That is number one. Number two, which kind of oil do I need, or do we all need? So the body needs three different kinds of oils. The first is it needs some bit of saturated oil, saturated ghee, because these are important for the nerves, which comes from ghee, and that is one of the sources of saturated fats. The second thing is we need omega-6 fatty acids. Now they will come from different sources in large amounts. Like for example, if you look at olive oil, it has omega-3 fatty acids. If you look at sesame oil, it would have omega-6 fatty acids, and even the ratios matter. So you have to have oils from different sources, which means peanut oil for some vegetables, ghee for some vegetables, mustard oil for some vegetables, because like you need different fruits, similarly you need different sources of oils. Okay. And if you keep rotating your oils, you will be able to get all these three sources.
Interesting. So is there any oil that one should not have?
I would say all these ultra processed oils, which has palm oil, which has the safflower but mixed with palm oil. So these mixed oils, in which a very low quality oil is mixed with a natural oil, and then it is sold in the market to reduce the cost. So these mixed oils are not healthy.
All right, mixed oils are not healthy. That is as far as oil is concerned. Ida, it's not just the oil, is it? It's a variety of other factors, as you rightly pointed out, including sugar. And there's been a big conversation around sugar of late in the past 1 year, where you have influencers looking on the backside of every packaged item and trying to tell you that it has sugar in it. It doesn't say so. It calls itself a healthy drink, but it has huge amounts of sugar in it. There's been some sort of momentum there as far as sugar is concerned.
Absolutely. I do think that even with sugar, there is a lot of hidden truths and hidden issues. And I do think that it's awareness is the first key, and just remembering that sugar is a drug. The more you consume, the more you'll want it. So also remembering that you can get most of your sugar naturally. Fruits have sugar, but it's natural sugar, and that can satiate what your needs are. So I would say definitely having sweets is not bad, but having sugar is bad, especially processed sugar. So changing all the sugar to natural sugars should be the way to go.
There's been a conversation as far as health is concerned. A new World Obesity Federation report projected a sharp rise in the number of overweight and obese adults worldwide. By 2035, 54% of the global adult population is expected to be overweight or obese. In 2022, 1.39 billion adults were classified as overweight, a number set to reach about 1.77 billion by 2035, as I pointed out. Meanwhile, global obesity figures are also rising at an alarming rate, from 180 million adults in 2020 to a projected 1.53 billion people by 2035. Health experts are warning that rising obesity rates could fuel a surge in other lifestyle diseases as well, putting pressure on healthcare systems worldwide. It continues to be a problem that India is also dealing with. Shikha Sharma continues to be with us. Shikha, there's been also a conversation on changing how to really classify what obesity is, with a lot of experts suggesting that perhaps BMI and counting BMI is not the right index if you want to arrive at whether a person is obese or not.
I think you're absolutely right, because when we talk about obesity, first thing I want to talk about is that you have to measure that. Measurements are important. The dangerous effect of obesity comes from visceral fat. Now, there are two kinds of fat. One is the fat which is like the baby fat under the subcutaneous area. And the second is the visceral fat, which is basically fat under the abdomen, which is surrounding the body organs. It is the visceral fat which is more dangerous compared to the subcutaneous fat. So all measurements which have been done on obesity initially started with just checking the weight. And that was misleading, because a weight could be your bone, it could be your water weight,
right.
It is also your muscle weight. So people losing muscle actually thought they're losing weight, but they were losing muscle, which is unhealthy. So I think you have to have a couple of things. First is you have to do your measurement in terms of your waist measurement. And beyond 30 centimeters is definitely unhealthy and has to be looked at. So,
all right, Dr. Shikha Sharma, I think we've lost her again, but they're suggesting that measure yourself. I think that's perhaps better than weighing yourself when it comes to measuring obesity. Anything more than 30 centimeters on the waist is perhaps not great. But remember, Prime Minister has ignited that debate and that conversation really, which is very important when it comes to obesity. Every 1 in 4 Indian is and is expected to be obese going forward if we continue eating sugar and eating and consuming oil as we do. Remember, currently the suggested oil consumption per day for every individual is about 20 ml. So measure your oil before you consume it. Prime Minister there kicking off that mega policy initiative, also nominating as many as 10 people, from celebrities to politicians, when it comes to measuring health for Indians and telling Indians to eat better and live healthier.